Hello and welcome to this video. So it's actually going to be a very long video. I basically spent like 1 week on this, but as you can see, I think last weekend I hit like top 10k in the World Championship 2025 qualifiers. My points were 16k 584, but the thing was, like, man, I played too many games. I could have gone higher. I think at least 20 to 24k, but just on Saturday I was going 50-50 and like I was getting mad and I was getting exhausted and it was like not good. But I'm still happy with this performance, and very specifically the performance with Fiendsmith Vaalmonica. And this whole video is about how to play Fiendsmith Vaalmonica, the meta, and then going over some replays, because number one, I don't think a lot of people know how to play the Vaalmonica side correctly. There's actually a lot of ways to play Vaalmonica. And number two, they don't know how to play the Fiendsmith side properly, especially how to like board break, because actually one engraver can clear like 4 cards. It's insane. So anyways, let's get on with it. So now this video is for anybody who wants to learn Vaalmonica, and for me in the future, wondering how I played this deck, because I will tell you, like 1 or 2 months from now, I'm not gonna remember anything. Like, I think I even spent 2 days just how do I say this? I spent 2 days like making this video, and in the 2 days I made this video, I forgot how to play, and then I have a video of me making every single possible mistake, like misplaying infinitely, and I was like, oh man, if you don't play for 2 days, you will get rusty. So that's why this video is just for me, just to preserve this information. So now here's the global ranking. This is final tally. I was like 329 before, but this is final tally. So I'm number 5,738. I'm basically top 350 in NA, which is okay. I could get better. Like Shape Snatch, dude, he's like top 100. He's like 101, 110. Like, props to him. He played 300 games. So if you go to the next slide, it's just the slide that they tell you, so it's for real. I actually played 72 games, which is, in my opinion, I think it's still really short time just to get the top 10k, because like Shape Snatch played 300 games, right? And I think he did also have a 55% win rate, but anyways, I can't play any more than that. I'm gonna be honest, I can't play any more than that. Like, second day, I just could not take it. So this is the deck. Again, over the whole weekend, it was 40 wins, 32 losses, 55% win rate. And then the last page I had was 14 wins and 6 losses with a 70% win rate. So I was really proud of this. I think there are 1 or 2 games where people just scoop turn 1, but I think it was like they bricked and they didn't want to play it. Or like I went first and there was like Mermail and they have no hand traps. And they will just die to even the generic Vaalmonica board, which was this guy plus Baguska. So one thing I learned in this WCQ run was that you don't actually duel only master players. There's a lot of average players attempting stage 2. This means that if you go 50-50 with the master players and eat up the meta decks and diamond and below players, you will just win. You will just win. So I checked my history. It wasn't master only, but I had, out of the 3 master players I played on the last page, I won 2 and lost 1. So it's not like, not like a meme. Vaalmonica cannot play through boards, but Fiendsmith can. Just keep that in mind. That's why this deck is really good, because Fiendsmith solves the Vaalmonica turn 2 problem. Now, what was the format in WCQ 2025? So out of the meta, this is just the masterduel meta link. This is just a brief overview, and then, because I know people want to play Vaalmonica and learn how to play Vaalmonica first, put that in the beginning. At the end, I will basically go over the decks. So now, this is just a brief overview. So what does Vaalmonica win against? Fiendsmith Vaalmonica runs over rogue decks. You will just destroy them. You have too much removal. Even turn 2, Fiendsmith engine, right now it's the premier engine. You will just push through almost anything. You can even push through Macrocosmos, by the way. Fiendsmith Vaal can also run over Cash. Fiendsmith Vaal beats Blue Eyes, and Fiendsmith Vaal beats Blue Eyes because you normally have back row removal. Even on turn 2, you do have back row removal. You can just early send Fiendsmith of Paradise. You can Angello copy Followed Rhythm to pop their True Light. Naturally, Fiendsmith Vaalmonica beats Senpai, because Senpai right now is a lot of hand trap, not on board breaker, and even on breaker. When they're on breaker, you will full combo. Zabufra can basically take on 2 destroy. You can take on 1 Lightning Storm and 1 Dark Hole or Raigeki, and then after that, you're basically asking them to draw Imperm or Droplet. This is because sometimes, like half the time, you will know that you're going first. That just means they're playing Tempai. So if they're playing Tempai, you got to make Baguska, and then if they don't have a solution to Bagusta, they will auto lose as well. You know what I mean? Fiendsmith Vaal can 1v1 branded. This is actually just a skill check because whoever like knows their deck better and knows how to grind better will win the game. Even if you brick, even if both players brick, they can still play. The other thing too is you will time out and they will time out. So whoever doesn't time out will win because you can really play. I have like 2 replays already about it's going like turn 8, just slugging it out. It's really fun, but it's also stressful. And it's only fun if you're good at the deck, because if you're not good at the deck, oh man, it's not. You're gonna watch misplays. So now Fiendsmith Vaal can also 1v1 Snake Eyes Millennium Fiendsmith if they brick. So if the opponent is on this deck, Snake Eyes Millennium Fiendsmith, they're gonna go Zombie Vampire. That's a very easy imperm because they're looking for Diabell Star. If they don't have Diabell Star, they're just gonna make 2 monsters, make the Fiendsmith endboard, and that one is very breakable. It's usually gonna be, most of the time, it is not Desiree. If it is Desiree, you can just run them over, just break the back row, and then tank it. The other thing is, like, if they do SP Caesar, you just battle SP and then deal with Caesar. So that's still not insane, right? And then the deck is, like, your deck is naturally built to play through hand traps, even if they have hand traps, whatever. And, like, even if they max you, you can battle SP using, like, Engraver, and then somehow make Bakuska. And then what are they going to do? Right? They have to draw Imperm. Or they lose. Like, yeah, they could link climb a little bit, but you should have your own non-engine. You can also maxi them on Wedju Temple. So the thing with Wedju Temple is that maxi them on Wedju Temple. And this is important because it says right here, you can place 1 monster from your hand and then place 1 Millennium monster to continue the combo, right? And what that means is that it's a huge commitment. Usually what they do is there's 3 kind of cards in your hand, right? There's starters, extenders, non-engine, and bricks. So when they play this, if they have a great hand, they have to give up 1 non-engine in order to keep playing. They have another option, which is to put an extender that's still not good. They can also put a brick. And now the problem with this is that when they place this monster, you incentivize them on max C or on Fuba loss to just end their turn, right? And so most of the time, they will just end their turn and they will just basically sit on engine. And then you, as the Fiendsmith Vaalmonica player, you can break through that board, and then 2 options, you can Baguska them, or you can just play through the board so much that you OTK them. You can actually OTK, you just have to be careful of this guy. What's his face? This guy. You have to be careful of this guy because the Duelume cannot destroy Sengenjin. So you either got to find a way to like monster steal with the Fieldspell, or like make a Versare, which is, there was 1 duel I made Versare because I had to beat over this guy. But other than that, oh yeah, also Engraver, you can send him to graveyard instead of like another monster. But anyways, that is why you can just actually go 50-50 with Snake Eyes Millennium Fiendsmith. But this was like supposed to be the premier deck, but actually in the WCQ, it was not the best deck. Actually, the best deck was this. So we'll talk about that later. Now there's some coin flip decks. So Fiendsmith Vaal currently can beat very weak tier, because tier, a lot of the cards are limited. I think Pearl Rhino is at 1. Or actually, no, it's 0, right? It's at 0. So like tier is like not insane, but you know, there are a lot of enjoyers, which I do respect. They're playing their deck that was insane, and that was a pet deck. They still have, there's a couple of things you have to keep in mind. The really good ones will always play the shufflers. They will just cook you, because I don't know why the shufflers are quick effect. That is not right. But anyways, the other one is Mermail. If Mermail goes first, I think they can even go through Max C. But basically, if you do not have Max C or Fuwa Loss, even under Fuwa Loss, they can still hand loop you. They will hand loop you. You're going to lose 2 cards. And actually, I did the numbers for this video. Fiendsmith Vaal bricks a lot. Like half the time, you will get 1 or 2 bricks. It's okay because you need like a discard for the scales. But, you know, if they hand loop you for 2, you use like 1 non-engine, like an Imperm. You have 2 cards. On their next turn, you have 3 cards versus their full board. You're going to lose. That's a coin flip deck. Now, another one is Memento. So basically, I only do like 1 Memento. I don't think I was high enough, or I was awake when the Memento players were playing. But basically, what happens is I watched a Shape Snatch video and make like Paradise Smasher. So basically, If you won the duel already, like your opponent can't stop you with not engine, you make this a memento, and it just says player with a higher total cannot activate monster effects or declare an attack until the end of the next turn. So basically, memento, they make this, they like auto win the game like a 93%. Watching people talk about it, you got like a 93% chance to win because you can also change the results to 7 to give them like plus 6 if they roll a 1. The other thing too, just naturally in the memento end board is a memento creation king. This guy, and there's another one. Quick effect, you can target an equal number of monsters you control and cards your opponent controls and destroy them. Basically, they have an inherent way to pop your scales that's giga bad because you almost always need your pendulum summon, and if you have no scales, you just lose. So that's one sus thing. And then the one I lost every time I played this 5 times. I lost 5 times. It's Crystron. Crystron is just nuts. So first is what's it called? Cluster. There's such a nuts card. Well, not nuts card, but it's very bad against Vaalmonica. Like basically, anytime your scales get popped, like as part of back row, if you go turn 2, you just straight lose. The other thing is that you can also, like I think turn 2 or turn 3, they make Quarion Gandrax. I know this because I played Crystron before the updates were, or before he got supported. They play this guy. This guy's just nuts. You will just, anything regularly, you'll also just lose. Like, yeah, if you can get target protection, okay, cool. But, I think that's only Blue Eyes with True Light right now. Anyways, they can make this guy. But most of the time, they make Cyber Dragon Nova. I mean, come on. It's Cyber Dragon Nova. And, like, one time, I solved one guy's Nova. He had a second Nova. So, like, in his extra deck, he had 2 Novas and 2, Infinity. Sorry. It's a Cyber Dragon Infinity deck. This one's with the negate. There are 2 Novas and 2 Infinities. So, like, okay, dude, you guess you win. So, there's that. So, right now, in my opinion, the Fiendsmith Vaalmonica deck is underrated meta. But it will get bad once people know how to hand trap and wait for Invitare. But even then, you can still play the Fiendsmith line. So, you don't lose. So now, this is the pros and cons of Vaalmonica. So the pro is, it has an insane removal end board. So now, the trap card plus the Bufora is already 2 to 4 cards of removal total. So if you're going turn 2, your normal doesn't exist. Your back row basically doesn't exist. Or at least half your back row. And then another thing is, Vaalmonica by itself can play through 1 to 2 hand traps on its own. You can either end on Fiendsmith board, because Dimonno is a life fiend, or you can go Baguska and then basically shut them down from their, like, if you get max seed, you go Baguska. They're also cooked unless they draw Imperm. And then nobody knows how to hand trap you. Also, Fiendsmith naturally eats hand traps. So another thing is Baguska is an FTK on certain opponent boards and helps you out on problems and ask the opponent to Yugi Boom and play the grind game. So actually, Vaalmonica has good grind game because you can always pendulum summon Dimonno from extra deck. You also can get the Selettrice in your hand a lot of the times, pendulum her, and continue your Vaalmonica plays. The other thing is, Fiendsmith also has grind game because Engraver can resummon himself from the graveyard. And another thing is, like, you can equip Requiem and then Engraver plus Requiem. You can clear 2 cards. Really good. It has decent grind game with Fiendsmith out because Dimonno's full Vaal combo and full Fiendsmith combo has a high win rate versus Tenpai if you're made to go first. Baguska plus Caesar is a FTK for them unless they draw Droplet or Imperm, and they know to hold it for their turn, because if they are a hand trap Tenpai, they might just Imperm your Selettrice and they, okay, you lose, you're a rogue deck, Selettrice is Imperm, but because you know how to play your deck better, okay, Selettrice is Impermed, I just use Engraver, let's go, or I play Invitare and then I normal summon Dimonno, let's go, right? So they don't always hold Imperm. And then you Baguska them and then they lose. Another thing is, Vaalmonica doesn't care about Banish, only Banish face down. Disharmonia is amazing. That's why you can duel the Cash Dimensional Fissure guys. Zabu copy Disharmonia is grind game. So if you don't know, people sleep on this card as well. I didn't really talk about it, but this card says, this card gets you 2 counters. You can also add one of your banished Vaalmonica cards to your hand, or get a Vaalmonica card from your graveyard. Usually it's going to be Followed Rhythm to set it on your turn. So one thing is, this means something very specific, and this means banish face up. Because if it's banish face down, the game does not know that it's a Vaalmonica card, so you can't really get, banish face down cards. But you can get banished, regular banished cards, and that's why you can play under Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos or Arise Heart. Also has 2 chances for an in-engine OTK attempt. Very good to close out games in turn 3 or 4. Their opponent is Giga punished for not playing into Max C or Hua. When you Max C them on turn 1 or 2, they can play into the board and give you cards, so you can break their board and then establish control over the game. Or they cannot play, which is like the correct way to play at the moment. You can not play, and then because they have such a weak board, you have 2 chances to OTK, and the 2 chances are with Duralume. Okay, so this is 7,500 damage, and then this one is 6,000 damage by her, and then 1,200 because you're gonna control another Vaalmonica card. One of the things is that Fiendsmith Lacrima, this guy, he burns for 1,200. I don't know why. That's like not cool, but it does. So when you burn for 1,200, you open yourself up to any of these 2 in turn 3 or 4, and that's why Vaalmonica can just OTK out of nowhere. If they don't have the correct hand traps, basically Nibiru, they die. Another thing is that Vaalmonica has 2 pushes at every point. So you've got 2 pushes for a combo. You have a regular combo and Disharmonia, like the graveyard combo, which I'll show you. 2 pushes for monster combo. You can normal summon and pendulum summon, or the second way to combo is pendulum summon, use Invitare. And just remember, this does lock you to Vaalmonica effects on the field. It doesn't stop graveyard effects. Like, for example, it does come up, but sometimes you do Desi Ray on your turn. This guy, here's a graveyard effect. He basically says, shuffle 1 other life fiend, target 1 card on the field, send it to graveyard. Basically, it's almost always True Light. Yeah, and then you have 2 pushes for OTK, which is Duralume and Versare. And then Dimonno, if you normal summon Dimonno. Now, this is why Fiendsmith is so nuts. Dimonno is a life fiend. So it's full Vaalmonica combo, and it's full Fiendsmith combo. And then it requires low extra deck space. This is the Vaalmonica like in-engine requirements. You've got 2 Duralume. You can even go to 1 because Fiendsmith puts it back. But in the full board combo, you end up making 2 Zabuffera. So I know you can have 1 Zabuffera because Fiendsmith can return the Zabuffera in the graveyard back to the extra deck. But there are a lot of times where you do end up having 2 Zabuffera on the field, and so that's why you do need a second copy. The other thing is that you need Duralume to OTK, Versare to OTK, it's 4 cards, and then you need Artemis with Selettrice, just in case Artemis plus Selettrice is Moon of the Closed Heaven, then you go into straight Fiendsmith. So you only technically need 1, 2, 3, and you can even go to just 1. But in this Vaalmonica deck, right, I'm playing full Vaalmonica, we can actually go this package, and it's just 5 cards out of the extra deck, which is very low commitment. And then the rest can be Fiendsmith plus generic cards in the extra deck. So it's really good. This is the con with Vaalmonica. So it struggles going second, needs scales to grind. So back row hate destroys you. There's Duster, which will nuke you. And then there was one duel, I could not find it, but they played this. And they boom all my scales up on their turn. I was like, oh, once a turn, I can play it. No, it's once per chain. Like, what the and then they just like blew me up. So I actually got hit by like Yubel strays. So that sucked. Yeah, so back row hate does destroy you. If there's back row hate, the deck dies fast. The lines for Vaalmonica are convoluted. So please watch this guide so you know how to play. It's also easy to mess up. Target protection cooks you because the Fieldspell, which is so this one, this targets. You target one monster, right? Duralume, she targets, but there is non-targeting, which is follow rhythm. But the problem is when you have access to follow rhythm, you're like in a winning game state because this just says return 1 monster from the field to the hand. But the problem is when you're playing against target protection cards, most of the time it's Lady Labyrinth or it's True Light Protection, which is annoying to like OTK. So basically, while you control set card, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. This one says your opponent cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragon in the monster zone with card effects. So basically, that's annoying because then you cannot Fieldspell steal, you cannot Duralume OTKs easily, and then that's annoying and a problem. Because usually also You might not know this, but I'm not playing Ash. So I don't play Ash. So most of the time when you are trying to attempt OTK, you're under Ash and you don't want to give, or you're under Max C and you don't want to give too many draws because you will end up dying. So in any case, her protection really messes you up. Although there's in-engine non-targeting removal with follow rhythm, not guaranteed to have access to. And then that's why, again, turn 2 is really annoying. Another thing is high attack. I don't know if you noticed this, but your monsters have 2,500. Where is the Bufera? So this is 2,500. This is 2,500. The one was Varar, but you never ever make Varar unless you want to OTK. And then they did try to solve this with creation. The problem is that in a duel, like, yeah, you should give it 1,200 attack. So Zabufer goes to 3,700. And then Varar goes to 4,200. The problem is that in a duel, Zabufer also protects from battle damage. And usually that's like protecting SP from being destroyed by battle, or your own cards from being destroyed by like the back row, because you have to protect your scales. So the attack increase is not reliable, and that's not what I use creation for. I actually use creation that I can link summon Zabufer on the opponent's turn. I don't give them an extra max C draw. So that creation is not for that. So you do have a problem with high attack. Fiendsmith Lacrima does reduce attack by 600, but this guy is never on the field. Usually it's like material for Zeus or for SP, but it's a thing to keep in mind. So you have a problem with high attack monsters. For example, I don't know like if Raid Raptor miraculously became meta. Just an example. I have no idea how you're gonna out their towers. Like this guy is usually like 5,200, I think. I don't know how you'd out it. That's so just from attack alone, I don't know how you would out it. Disregarding the fact that it's a tower. Another thing is that it's a massive engine required to draw 2-card combos. And then Invitare, which is both a nuts card and also a bad card, because it locks you to Vaalmonica when you play it. So when you play it, you gotta commit. And you gotta know your lines. So that's another thing. It's a Valak on the field. That means you can't use like SP. You can't use like Caesar. You can still use Baguska because that's not activated. It's a continuous effect. But other than that, right? So now the pros and cons of Fiendsmith. So eats hand traps. Engraver's only job is to get ashed. Or you get ashed during the Fiendsmith combo. Plays 2 hand traps. Breaks boards. So this, I don't know if you've seen this, but I broke this board using the Fiendsmith cards. So look at my hand, right? Pretty nutty. I don't know if you see the line because they've already used all their effects. This guy, Unicorn is used, Ogre's used. This guy is like useless. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't any good. Yeah, so the opponent has no more interactions. What do you do with this hand to break the board? Really think about it, right? Another thing is it has a low main deck requirement. So again, Vaalmonica has massive engine, right? So this is micro engine. That's how you get to 40. So another thing is its main deck follow up. So sometimes some decks will like rogue decks, they will lock you out of your extra deck. How are you gonna play? You can't summon Durilume, you can't summon Varar, you can't summon Zabufera. Engraver, being a main deck monster, means you can still play the game if you get locked from the extra deck. Another thing is Fiendsmith is the premier engine right now. So it's a good meta for any Fiendsmith deck, just because it's like, you know, Konami's favorite toy. You're gonna buy it and play with it for like a couple months. They will like not really destroy it. They did destroy like the degen stuff like Beatrice, but anyways, this is the premier engine. Vaalmonica also has an in-engine Light Fiend that we focus on for the 1-turn combo anyways. So we focus on Dimonno. Which is a Light Fiend, which gets us a turn 1 combo. We get free Fiendsmith combo. The con of Fiendsmith is it requires a lot of extra deck space. So actually, what I show you here, this is not correct because you have an option for Duke of Demise. You have an option for Apollo USA, Appaloosa. You also have an option for like Yama. Let me find like You have Yamashavara plays, which is like this and this, which is what people used to do before Fiendsmith came out, and you can't fit that here anymore. So it's kind of annoying. Another thing is like these two cards actually, if there was a way to play Fiendsmith one monster solution, you could cut this and this because you don't really make like yeah, you do make this in the turn like in the Fiendsmith plus one monster, but if there's a way to make the extra deck more flexible, I would cut these, to be honest. Even though Caesar is insane, I would cut it because sometimes you need a second Zeus, sometimes you need a second SP. It doesn't have a nasty board, so what Fiendsmith does is it just gets you two things. So either gets you Caesar if you have one monster, and it gets you an SP if you have two monsters. So that's very solvable. You battle SP, you deal with Caesar, right? But Vaalmonica solves that problem with a bajillion removal and protection effects. Basically, you're gonna play Zabufara, and you're gonna play Follow Rhythm multiple times on your opponent's turn. They will not have a board to begin with. Their monsters are all gone to hand, and their spell and traps cards are destroyed. So together, Vaalmonica has a hard time pushing in turn 2. It also dies to interaction in turn 1, and you need 2 to 4 extra deck slots. Huge main deck engine. But Fiendsmith needs a stronger end board, and Graveyard Line always gets interacted with. You can always end on a Fiendsmith board, which is SP and Caesar. Fiendsmith needs 7+ extra deck slots, and has a small main deck engine. So together, they are a real deck. Now, the biggest thing nobody knows is that Vaalmonica is a linear combo deck. So what does that mean? So we'll go over the engine, and then we'll go over the combos. So these are the recommended ratios. This right here, how to play the game. This is also how to play the game, but it's not good because Selettrice uses her graveyard effect, and then you can't pivot to Fiendsmith. So right now, it's an engine requirement. These two are engine requirements. You can cut this, but I noticed that under Max C, you don't want to give them 3 draws. If you give them 2 draws, you can still be favored to win. And then the way you do that is like you make Baguska on your opponent's turn. They get to play with like the Max C. They went +1. So you discard Max C. They draw 2 cards. You go +1. Then on their turn, let's say they play Imperm on Baguska. You can flip Creation, use Baguska to make your own Zeb on their turn, and then play. So the ratios explained. This is a guide on playing Fiendsmith Vaal in this specific way. There are other ways to play it. For example, you don't see Intinare. There are some Intinare lists that combo off. Since Vaal cards don't hit the graveyard, you can use Intinare to revive something huge like IP Masquerena. Let's get her. You can use Intinare to revive something huge like IP, make something else, and then Angello copy Intinare and revive IP again. That's a really strong combo. It's a strong turn 1 combo, but I feel that Vaalmonica doesn't need a stronger turn 1 board. It actually needs a stronger turn 2 presence and a way to play through turn 2 and through hand traps. That's why I don't play Intinare. Another thing is Vaalmonica is a secret draw engine. So if you give up your normal summon, you can actually normal summon Selettrice only. And then what you do is you Celta, return 1, draw 2. If you have another engine, which is the Sky Striker engine with Engage, you can draw 2 again. So I've done this since Vaal Strikers. I mean, I know why people aren't doing that because, you know, the scales become breaks, etc., but something to consider. This is an alternate way to play the deck. Okay, and now we're going to explain the ratios. So the best combos revolve around Selettrice, so you need 3 copies. You also need 3 copies of the scales in the grand game. When you play Invitare in the usual combo, you'll have 1 copy scaled and both Angello and Dimonno in the extra deck. So if your scales get broken and you don't have a 3rd copy in your deck, your Vaalmonica engine is dead. Okay, so I just made this quick app. Basically, all it does is it has these windows that are like always on top, and it just shows the cards. But in any case, so here's your Selettrice, right? You play Invitare. You get 1 copy of Angello to your hand, and then you get 1 copy of Dimonno to the extra deck, right? You apply the scales, you just discard a random card, and then you go like this, right? Then when you Pendulum Summon, right? Sometimes you do have an Angello, but in the minimal combo, you just have like this, right? Now, as you can see, basically gone through 1 copy. If you get like full combo, you get the 2nd copy, and then you'll start comboing off, right? So in turn 1, what happens? This Dimonno goes to your extra deck. she either goes to your hand or to the graveyard, and also Angello goes to the extra deck. So then what happens? When you play Invitare again, you have to make sure that these scales exist, because let's say that they get broken, right? The good players, they always kill Angello. They straight up always kill Angello. When you play this, and you're playing out Invitare, you need a third copy. And you need a third copy of Angello, because let's say before I used to run only 2 Angellos, right? If I had 2 Angellos, then I played Invitare, I realized I think sometimes they would destroy this. But in any case, I could not play Invitare anymore because I would just have 1 copy of Dimonno. I would have to special summon the Dimonno from the deck and then field lock myself. So that's why you need to have 3 copies, because it's for the grind game. Basically, you've already gone through 2 copies. 1 copy is your scales. The second copy is most likely in your extra deck. The third copy has to be in your deck. Otherwise, this card right here is not going to work. Also, like, Celta might not work. And if they pop your scales like this, right? Obviously people play 3 Dimonno, but there's a world where they destroy both your scales and you need to rescale, right? Let's say they destroy both of your scales somehow, like Duster, right? You just got Dustered. How are you gonna play? How are you gonna play the deck? You get an Angello, and then what? If there's no Dimonno, you're out. If you get a Dimonno and no Angello, you're out. That's why you do need 3 copies of scales, because if they get broken or something like weird happens to them, basically you need to grind, because that's one of the big strengths about pendulum decks in general. You can pendulum summon from the extra deck, but the problem is you need these scales. These scales are super important, and so you have 1 copy, 2. You need to have a third copy in the deck. That's why it's 3. You also need the Fieldspell at 3, so it searches Selettrice or a scale. I tried cutting it to 2 because you brick on this. There's a lot of times when you get 3, and this isn't a body on field. So for example, I play this card and then they ash me. I still need 2 monsters to make Closed Moon for Fiendsmith combo, so that's not fun. But after I cut this to 2, I stopped getting Vaalmonica combo, so I put it back to 3, and I will just, brick. If I brick Celta right here, I know this is like Italian. I'm probably saying all this wrong. Apologies. So you can still play Celta without scales to unbrick. This happens when you draw Selettrice and Celta, or Celta 2 times. So either you get Vaalmonica combo, you take 500 damage, you get the Fieldspell, or another card like Invitare. You unbrick your hand because you return 2 cards. So if you have 2 Celta, you can return the second Celta to the deck and then look for Fiendsmith. Or you get ashed and you can play your actual normal summon. So with Selettrice and Celta, if you get ashed on Celta, you can still normal summon Selettrice, get Invitare, and go full Fiendsmith combo. So you can still play. The one big thing I learned is that you need to play your hands, even the bricked hands, around the fact that your opponent will most likely interact with the first card they see, because your rogue deck, they just click yes. They just yes click. So also, having Celta in graveyard is good for the grind game when you can summon Dimonno, because Dimonno with an unused Celta in the graveyard is full Vaalmonica combo. Now another thing is Invitare is the most underrated Fiendsmith Vaalmonica card. On turn 1, if you have Vaalmonica combo, you can use this to chain to Maxi and summon either Dimonno, full combo if Celta is in graveyard, or Selettrice. They're just full combo, right? You can then make Requiem for 1 draw and pass with non-engine, or make Baguska and pass with non-engine. That's why this is 3x, because when you play this and chain to Maxi, you will rob them of 1 draw. That's pretty nuts, because that turns Maxi into, from Pot of Greed into Upstart Goblin, and that suddenly becomes really bad. Another one is Versare+scales is actually a better combo than the standard combo, but it is vulnerable to Ash Imperm Veiler. Summoning Selettrice will not lead to Fiendsmith combo anymore, and it's too vulnerable. You will play. I played just 1. Another thing is, I noticed earlier, Versare is a terrible draw. It does nothing by itself. All it does at most is dump a Dimonno to the graveyard for an extra life fiend, but that's not good. I think it's also aesthetic that you have 3 Celtas to make a choice, and you can choose to listen to Dimonno, right? That's kind of cool. Instead of triple Celta, triple Versare, like the Celta leads. Where is it? The Celta leads into Versare to lead you to making the choice. That's also really aesthetic. Like, Konami really cooked with this deck. They're really cooked. Another one is this Armona is required for the ultimate Vaalmonica combo, but it's a brick. It's also great in the grind game. Make sure you hit 3 counters and allows you to ignore everything except for banish face down. It's 1 times. This is an engine requirement. Just gotta play it. Another one is creation is rarely used for board breaking with the field spell, because when you get 3 counters on the field on a pendulum monster, you get to steal an opponent's monster. It's not that good because it doesn't lead to combo. Instead, it's used for the link summon effect, because again, I want to make their maxi from pot of greed to upstart goblin. That's the goal. You can play around someone playing upstart goblin. I'll just tell you that. Instead, it is used for the link summon effect. Sometimes in the Vaalmonica combo, you get a second search and you have a choice. You can set followed rhythm with this Harmonia, or if you already drew this Harmonia or followed rhythm, you can search this to make a stronger board. Another thing is, creation is also a bad draw. It doesn't do anything versus an established board past comboing in turn 1 or 2. Same with this. That's why they're all at 1. What about the other cards? So Chosen Melody, it's not as good as the turn 1 play as followed rhythm. The removal from follow rhythm is insane. All it does is you gain 500 life points. Your opponent can't target Vaalmonica monster cards, but the end board is not just Vaalmonica. There's also an SP and a Caesar. That's cool. The other thing is, take 500 damage. You can negate the effects of one effect monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. Now that's good, but in this current meta, one monster is half a closed moon, is half a full Fiendsmith combo. It's just not worth it. Not worth it to let them have a monster on board. Now, what about Hereditary? So, it's very win more, in my opinion. It's too conditional, requires a Vaal Link monster. The draw effect also needs scale counters to be active. So, when you're winning, you just win. But you lose when you have no scales. So, when you have no scales, you draw this, you lose more, right? Also, you send this to draw only if you've comboed and have extra searches. And in my opinion, the better extra search would be this Harmonia to set followed rhythm, or creation to set to link summon on your opponent's turn. Then this Harmonia is already an in-engine way to recover resources, especially from banishment. This Harmonia also gives Angello counters, retrieving Vaal cards from banishment to allow for easy OTK. And then here's the 1-card combo list. So basically, you just get a Fiendsmith endboard, right? So the Fieldspell gets you this, and then this gets you Requiem. And then, because you can get 2 monsters with Selettrice using Invitare, you'll have this and Dimonno, and then you get full Fiendsmith endboard. This is just 1 monster, it gets you just Caesar. This Invitare just gets you a Caesar, but on your opponent's turn, you can use monster effects again. So then you can use Requiem to summon Lacrima, to send Paradise, to get 1 interruption. So if they use their max C, you chain Invitare, you link summon Fiendsmith Requiem. They played basically 1 upstart goblin for your 1 interruption, plus your non-engine. So, in my opinion, that's very good. It turns Maxi from a insane card into an upstart goblin, and it makes them vulnerable to things like Droll, which I have Droll in the deck. And then you ask your opponent to either grind or play like a lower impact game. Now here's the quick guide. So again, it's you scales, Celta access. This is just a YouTuber guide. So you scale Selettrice, you get one demon with Celta, you play Invitare, you get Dimonno to extra deck, this to hand, Pendulum summon, and then Angello is not always guaranteed. Copy Celta for second demon, versare, then trap the graveyard third demon, Angello copy to add one useless card to hand. Then your end board is Zeb, and then Selettrice, Dimonno, which is Fiendsmith Axis, and possibly Angello. Now the alternate combo, which people know but they don't focus on, this is way better in my opinion. It's Dimonno Axis plus an unused Celta in the graveyard. So if you have a Selettrice plus Invitare or Celta, you can do this combo. Also, with the Fieldspell, Selettrice adds whatever is missing, either Invitare or Celta. Use Invitare, Dimonno to extra deck, Angello to hand. Now, Angello discards Celta and you scale Angello. Then you Pendulum summon Dimonno. Dimonno copies Celta, and then you get one demon to add Disharmonia. Add Celta from Banished, use Celta to get the third demon, add the trap to hand. Then the endboard is Zabufra, Fiendsmith Axis, Trap Set, and you get a Selettrice to hand. Because you have two monsters, you can also go full Fiendsmith combo. Now here are the 2-card combos. So one note is that there's no point to creation combos unless you really brick. Just normal summon Dimonno instead. There's no extra deck space for the Fiendsmith portion of the creation combo. So this, like Duke of Demise and stuff, it's not worth it. But these are all combo. Like if you look at this, any 2 of these cards are either full Vaalmonica combo right here, the green, or Fiendsmith combo right here in just the edge cases. So this is the 2-card combo list, not exhaustive. Selettrice+scelta Invitare. So one of these and one of these is full combo, right? Selettrice+scales. So one of these, like any 2 of these 3 categories is full combo, right? Vulnerable to disruption, and sometimes you can't make Closed Moon into sequence. So it's better as a 3-card combo and discard a random card so you can pivot to Requiem. Because if you use Selettrice plus Angello to discard and use the Selettrice effect, come back to hand, well, if they play Imperm on your normal summon Selettrice, you lose. So that's why you should just discard a random card, and then that way Selettrice can make Artemis, pen Selettrice, make Closed Heaven, and then do Fiendsmith Requiem. Now, here's the other 2-card combo list. It's basically the same, but it's just Fieldspell or Selettrice plus these 2. And then this is the 2.5 card combo list, also not exhaustive. So Scales+scelta, Scales, add Fieldspell, add Selettrice, add Invitare, Pendulum Dimonno and Angello, Dimonno copy Celta, add versare, send trap, Angello copy versare. So this one is combo, but it Vaal locks you. So apply Scales, Invitare summon Selettrice, make Artemis, normal Selettrice, add Celta, add Fieldspell, pen Dimonno, Dimonno copy Celta, add versare, send trap to graveyard, and then you can do SP Zeb or Zeb Baguska. You have a choice. This one again is apply scales, versare send Selettrice, Selettrice add Celta, Celta add Invitare, pen Dimonno Angello, Dimonno copy Celta add trap, Angello copy versare. So these are the 2.5 combo list because you need one discard. That's it. But this is technically a 2-card combo. Now, here's a 3-card combo and why bricking isn't as bad. So this combo right here is also a 3-card combo with 2 searches. You play the normal line, and it's useful for when you draw like a brick like Lurie or Fiendsmith in Paradise. So I'll just give you an example. I have a Selettrice and a Celta. Selettrice add Invitare, Invitare add Angello to hand, Dimonno to extra deck, Angello scale using the brick, Celta add versare, pen summon Dimonno, Dimonno copy Celta. So you have 2 options. You can either add Disharmonia right here to set the follow rhythm, or you can search for Vaal Trap, which is Creation or Hereditary. Add Disharmonia. So right now I'm going to choose to add Disharmonia. Versare send Follow Rhythm to Graveyard. Disharmonia add 1 Ancient counter, add Follow Rhythm to Graveyard. Do Fiendsmith 2 monster combo. And Disharmonia in the Graveyard means Follow Rhythm is set. Plays around triple tactics cards, and your second Zeb can copy Disharmonia for recovery in the grind game. Here's a special 3-card combo that plays through 1 and 2 interrupts. So Angello discards Celta set scales. You normal Dimonno. This is both Vaalmonica full combo and Fiendsmith combo. For Vaalmonica, you Dimonno copy Celta, add Disharmonia. Disharmonia, do 1 demon, 1 angel, bring back Celta. Celta add Fall Rhythm to hand to set. It's full Vaalmonica combo. For Fiendsmith 2 monster combo, Dimonno, Link Summon Requiem. You summon level 4 Lacrima, send Graveyard to Graveyard. Pendulum Dimonno for a second monster. Lacrima plus Dimonno is sequence. Make sure Tract and Luria are available. Sequence makes level 6 Lacrima by shuffling Requiem and level 4 Lacrima. Level 6 Lacrima add Engraver to hand. Make at least an SP and a Caesar, right? So you have, this is full combo. Definitely not combo. Unless new cards have been added, this is not combo. If you break on 2 Celta, you must play this first. Either you get combo, fix your hand, or bait Ash and Dominus. One of the Dominus cards is Ash. These 3 are endboard pieces, combo pieces, and they're not starters. There's no Fairy Link one, so you can't really go into Close Moon Fiendsmith with this. Even if there was, there's no extra deck space for the, Fairy Link one. These 2, just do the Fiendsmith 1 card combo instead. Summon Dimonno from the deck, make Requiem. These 2 Versares, this is exactly why I stopped playing more than 1 Versare. It's a brick, it's like you just lose the game. This Celta plus Versare, play Celta first, attempt to unbrick. You might not be able to get Trap plus Zeb access, so you must decide what's more important. If you have Fieldspell, the priority is Zeb and start grinding out the game. Or if there's no Fieldspell, get the Trap card for 1 more interruption. Now, what if you have a second search? So the search order is Celta, Invitare, Versare, and Trap. Now there are the 3-card combos, which I showed you earlier, which is this one, right? Special 3-card combo. So with Dimonno already in hand and Celta already in hand, this is how you get second search with this and the 3-card combos. So there's two options with the second search, right? You had Disharmonia to set followed rhythm, and then it counterplays the triple tactics cards, and you can add creation to link summon Zeb on their turn, which is really nuts, especially when you're under max E. The other option is you can always search the other Vaalmonica trap cards, just for fun, because this is a game. Now notes is, Invitare needs to see Selettrice to add the hand and to extra deck. You need to chain this in case opponent change disruption like Ghost Ogre. Be okay with normal summoning Dimonno, Luri, Lacrima for Caesar combo. Live with your non-engine and Vaal should come online in the next couple turns. You almost always try to discard Luri for scales, however this does play into Maxi. Now we'll go to the deck building theory. So the Vaalmonica engine is huge because you are looking for a 2 to 2.5 card combo. This means non-engine space is low, so non-engine must be so impactful, they must be turn-ending cards. This means sub-engines must also be accessible from the extra deck and take low main deck space. It's just Fiendsmith. Now, let's ask the hypergeometric calculator, what are these questions? These are rough estimates. Remember, they only answer the specific questions. They don't account all the scenarios in combination or together. We're going to ask, what's the chance for the 2-card combo, which is Fieldspell or Selettrice+scelta or Invitare? What about the 3-card combo? What about at least one impactful non-engine? And then the chance to draw just Fiendsmith combo. Keep in mind, the Vaalmonica combo also does Fiendsmith combo. what's the chance to brick? It's actually 50%, which is, I was shocked. So the chance for 2-card combo, there's 12 successes. So at least 2 successes mean 2 things, right? It's not always a success. You can get combo, Selettrice and Celta, but this also means not combo, which is 2 Celtas. It's still a good estimate, and there's a way to do it correctly. I didn't know it off the top of my head. The answer is, start out all the combos since they're equally viable. See the number of successes versus number of fails. This is why you pay attention in math, kids. I'm just letting you know. So here it is. The population of the deck is 41. There's number of successes is 12 because 3, 6, 9, 12. The sample size of your hand, you draw 5 cards. Number of successes is 2 because I want to see 2 of these, right? So what's the probability to just draw any 2 of these cards? 32%. But remember, any 2 means Fieldspell, Celta, or Celta, or Selettrice+scelta, right? Keep that in mind. And then the one that's more important is, what's the probability to get more than 2? So you get like a 3-card combo, 46%. Now, there are 12 options, 12 options because this is a unique combo, 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 unique combo, unique combo, unique combo, unique. So this is Fiendsmith play. This is a combo. It's not the 2-card combo, but actually this is combo. Wait. Okay, so I fixed the numbers because I can't count. So there are 10 options, all of which are equally likely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 of which are full combo. 2 of which are Fiendsmith combos. There's 70% win rate. And there's 30% bricks. So 70% out of 46% chance success means you have a total of 32% to full combo. So it's just 46% times 70%, 32%. Now, this is very similar chance to drawing a single one-card starter with 3 copies in deck. So this chance right here is like around 30%. So it's very competitive in a sense. It's just you have less non-engine space, which is kind of bad. Now, the chance for 3-card combo, 3 of these, 1 of each. So there's 41 cards in the deck, 19 successes, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19. Sample size is 5, and you want 3 successes. So remember, 3 successes might mean 3 Invitare. 3 successes might mean 3 Celta. But, you know, in this calculation, you also get Selettrice, Dimonno, and the Celta. So there's still some successes. I don't want to do the matrix right here for, you know, these 3 cards. Anyways, right here, to get exactly 3 is 29%, which is really close to 30. And to get more than 3 cards is 42%. So 42.7% to get a 3-card combo. That may include the brick combos like 3 Fieldspells, but really good, right? So half or more to get basically combo and win. Now, what is the chance to get 1 impactful non-engine? So there's 41 cards. There's 8 of these in my deck. The hand is 5, and I want 1. To get 1 of these, you get 43%, right? That's why in a lot of the replays, you just see me play Maxi, and you see me play Fubulos. Now, to get more, 68%, which is around 70%. Sorry, that would mean I get 2, so 1 of this, or 2 of this, or 2 of this, or 2 of this, which is pretty nuts. So the chance to get 1 is 43%. So again, chance to get only 1 is 43%, but to get 1 or more of these 8 cards turn 1 is 68, which is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Like basically 0.5% chance to stop your opponent's turn. You know, even though people play 3 Ash, but you can't Ash Droll, you can't Ash Imperm. Turn 2, right? So with 6 cards, you get a 75% chance to draw 1 or more of these, right? Which is nuts because also 1 or more means the Droll plus Maxi plus Fua or Maxi Fua Imperm, right? And then there's still a 42% chance to get 1 of these cards turn 2. So Imperm's good at board breaking, but these guys just not. But you know, it's RNG, it's a card game. We play these odds. Because it's Blue Eyes meta also, what is the chance to see Duster and Thrust on turn 2 to destroy Blue Eyes and hit True Light, right? So you've got 41 cards, 2 successes, sample size is 6 because we're going turn 2. Number of successes is 1 because you want to draw one of these. And so you have a 25% chance to just straight up draw one of these. Turn 2. 25% chance to win versus Blue Eyes because they have to draw Drill Beam and they have to draw Prima Engine or they lose. They usually sit on the small Spirit Dragon and they never shotgun the big Spirit Dragon. Let you know that right now. And then the chance to draw both of these, which is greater than 1, is 27%. So very good odds just to straight win versus Blue Eyes on turn 2 with just not engine. Because 25% just to straight up win, that's pretty good. Plus, remember, you still have a 42% chance to get 2 or more, and 75% chance to get one of these. So 75 plus, 25. Technically, it's 100%, but it's not. That's not how in percentages work. But the deck is not, not bad to Blue Eye. Now, chance to draw Fiendsmith combo. So I have 2 Engraver and Tract. So 41 card size, 3 successes. My hand is 5. I want just 1. You have 29% to get one of these, 33% to get both or 3 or more. Pretty good odds to bait out Ash Blossom. Now, what's the chance to brick? Drawing 2 or more brick. So the deck actually bricks a lot. So on turn 1, I'm asking for 1 brick out of these 5 cards, and it's actually 39%, which is high. Then more than 1 brick is basically 50%. So actually, you should see one of these in half of your games. Actually, more than one of these, half your games. In turn 2, you get 41% to draw only 1. And then more than 1 brick, which is like 2 or 3 of this, 56%. So the deck bricks a lot. I didn't know that. But it doesn't play like it bricks. Because just Fiendsmith is so strong, Vaalmonica is also so strong. Now, why no Ash Blossom? So Ash Blossom does not end turns. If it does end turn, the opponent brick or is playing a bad rogue deck that you can outplay. It also goes -1 versus monsters. Let's say the opponent normal summons Snake Eyes Ash. You Ash Blossom in response, going -1. You're going -1. The opponent needs 1 more summon to make Closed Moon and go full Fiendsmith combo. For their 2 cards, they got a full end board and you lost 1 card. Same goes with Valor, right? They can just go Moon of Close 7, full Fiendsmith combo. Now, Ash from Maxi is sus. In my opinion, just play around it with Called By, Invitare, and Baguska. And then you can also just Maxi them back. Let's play the grind game. Let's go to turn 3 and 4. Now, why Typhon, right? So from the World Championship qualifiers, I got at least two wins. That's a swing of 2k points. That's like 4k points by converting losses to wins. Because remember, if you lose 1, you lose both the potential, quote unquote, of 1,000 points and like the 300 points if you're less than 10k. And if you're more than 10k, you just straight up lose 1,000. So what happened? You lost the opportunity to gain 1,000 and you also lost 1,000. That's minus 2k points, technically, right? So Typhon actually is a swing of 4k points because I did win 2 games with him. And Typhon turns a 100% loss game into a 50% win game because it turns the game into a top deck scenario. Now, that's a swing of 150%, in my opinion. I also don't care about making a big board. I care more about playing through a turn 2 board, fixing the weaknesses of the Fiendsmith Vaalmonica deck. Typhon also solves you problems in simple game states. It's very big. It stops big monsters from activating their effects. For example, Ultimate Spear Dragon. And you can just normal summon Selettrice, get negated, make a Typhon, battle them. You still, they lost 2 cards and you gained 1 card. And you have a kind of a floodgate, right? It's insane in turn 2. And I will just tell you straight up, there's a deck that is like a hand trap engine only. And you have 3 Typhons in the extra deck. Like, that's how nuts this guy is. Really good card. Insane. Insane for turn 2. I love him. Now, why versare? Again, in the World Championship qualifier, I got 2 wins just from versare in my extra deck. It's a swing of 2k points. Really, it's a swing of 4k. And these meta decks are unstoppable. Sometimes you have to clear the game on that turn. Just make sure there are no interruptions to stop your OTK. Else, they will just win. Here's the replay. Okay, so why Baguska? So Baguska is basically asking your opponent to Yugi Boom with you. So number one is you have a better grind game than your opponent. Selettrice comes back on the next turn for follow-up. And then also Engraver as well, because if you have access to Dimonno, right, as a Light Fiend, you also may have Engraver follow-up in the next turn as well. So Baguska is Yugi Booming. There's a lot of times I noticed in the WCQ where people were just stuck. They didn't have Imperm or Droplet, and the Fiendsmith follow-up and the Vaalmonica follow-up was too much. One duel, I remember I waited all 2 turns for Bragusta to run out, and then I did the versare OTK. So that's just something where you gotta ask people to grind with you, right? Play the grind game. And also, if you get max seed, just Baguska then, man. Like, it's part of the game. So here's some games. Also, because you have a Baguska, you can make SP, and then SP can banish either their drill beam or their true light. Usually it's the drill beam. A lot of players only play one drill beam, and then after that you just destroy their primite part of the deck. So that's pretty cool. Now we'll watch the replays. With some hands, Vaalmonica can give up the normal summon and still combo. So some notes is that full combo is usually scales and Celta access. You have a choice for full Vaalmonica combo. You normal summon and pendulum summon, or you pendulum summon and Invitare summon. So an example is you pendulum summon Selettrice, you add a Celta, Celta add Invitare, and then you can hold the Invitare and then do your Fiendsmith combo. And then afterwards, at the very end, okay, you say Invitare, summon Dimonno, copy Celta, and then that's combo right there because it's one count. Where is it? Celta's one counter, Dimonno's two counter, and then whatever you get with Celta is your third demon counter. So in this combo, it would be Versare, send the trap to graveyard. Another example is you pendulum summon Dimonno, copy Celta in graveyard, Disharmonia add Celta, Celta add trap. Here, you don't even need to normal summon because you just pendulum summon Dimonno. And then another thing is how to resolve Fieldspell steal in chains. Like whenever Pendulum card gets 3 counters, this Fieldspell will start the monster seal on a new chain. Basically, when they have an effect to summon, get on your side, get 3 counters. On the next chain, you will steal their cards unless they use like a quick effect interrupt. So you will still most likely win this exchange. You're already gonna get counters, and the Fieldspell steal would be a bonus if you were very patient with timing. Also, board breaking with the Fieldspell. So some effects don't negate a card already on the field. They negate activations of cards, right? So this is just an old game. This is before WCQ. And here, Barone says, when a card or effect is activated, but when you use the Fieldspell's effect, basically it was already activated. You're just using the effect of the card. So Barone will not counter your Fieldspell. So now how to OTK, right? You have two chances to OTK. As with everything with Vaalmonica, there's always two chances to do everything. Your combo, Fiendsmith combo, even to OTK. So the first one is Duralume. Duralume is 7,500 damage, and it clears your opponent's board. So you get a free board wipe, and then you can attack them directly. But it's not 8,000. You're missing just a little bit. Now, same with Versare. If you've seen the earlier replay, I tried to go to Duralume and I could not destroy this Sengenjin. I was like, okay, I still need to OTK. I had burned them already with Lacrima, so they were really low. So I was like, okay, I can use Duralume to make Versare. And Versare is 6k damage because you'll make Versare plus a small Vaalmonica. And then it will be 6k plus 1200 from the small Vaalmonica. So this is 7,200. Still a lot of damage. It's almost 8,000, which is OTK. So you need to make sure opponent has 0 interactions. This is why you almost always burn with extra deck Lacrima to do 1,200 damage. Now, some 3-card hands can make Versare on turn 1, but it needs 1 extra search to add Disharmonia. You need to summon Angello, and you need to use Angello effect on a card for no effect. So you'll get 1 angel counter, and then Disharmonia gets you 2 angel counters. You can make a Duralume, then make a Versare. And then because you have a 3-card hand, you can also have like the Followed Rhythm set or in the graveyard and have a Zabufra plus a Versare, which is like, it's okay, but, and the stronger endboard is Zabufra plus the Fiendsmith endboard. Now, another thing is, this Disharmonia is really good because you can add from Banish to get your 3 angel counters. You can have 3 demon, 3 angel in this 3-card hand. Just to let you know. But usually use Duralume or Versare just to go for OTK. Most of the times that I've attempted it, I'm attempting it under Max C. So you really have to do this in as little summons as possible. So you can summon Duralume in like 1 to 2 summons and then just straight up destroy them. Same with Versare, 1 to 2 summons, maybe a third one with the small Vaalmonica. But here you can use Invitare to summon it in the battle phase. So they can't use, for example, can't nib you. You can't use Valor. I think that's it. Nib and Valor, the main phase cards only. And then just remember, Sengenjin can be destroyed by monster effects. Why does this guy burn 1200? You should just always burn for 1200 unless you have a reason not to, right? This is because it puts the opponent in lethal by Duralume 7,500 or Versare 7,200. Just almost always burn. And then don't be scared to sit on Baguska plus non-engine. So one thing is that Baguska is an FTK on certain hands, so they have no imperm or droplet. Along with Zaboofer protection, most opponents opt to make SP Little Knight to remove Baguska, right? So for example, in Millennium Snake Eye Fiendsmith, they make SP with Snake Eye's Doom Dragon, right? So be prepared to remove their extra deck monsters to prevent SP, or if you have the field spell, you can even just steal the Snake Eyes Doom Dragon and make sure they really cannot make the SP to banish Baguska. Another thing is, Baguska is Yugi Booming Incarnate. You always have more follow-up with Selettrice coming back to hand and Fiendsmith Engraver in the graveyard. Now, what about managing your own Fuwa Lost and Maxi? So, if you have combo through one interruption, I would say Shotgun Maxi to dodge Talent. This one right here, if you're going turn 2. If not, wait for a guaranteed draw, then do it. Because a lot of the good players, they will just stop and they basically ask you to rip your one card out of your own hand, which is not that good. Now, if you know your opponent deck, do that instead. So one choke point I found was that in Millennium Snake Eye Fiendsmith, you max see them or Fuwa when they commit one card for Wedju Temple, right? Their Fuwa, you can also Pendulum Summon from your hand to avoid giving an opponent your draw. And you can also activate one Follow Rhythm effect if you control a Vaalmonica scale. Just in case you can't full combo, you still have one interruption with Follow Rhythm. Now, another thing is managing your Joel and Maxi. So this is a mind game where you can Joel first, so you can get called by, and then you can get Maxi. There was a game against a hero player where they added Stratos to hand, I Joel, then they played Talent, and then I chained Maxi like an idiot. Because you cannot draw under your own Maxi. Then they hand rip me one, and then I scoop out of shame. So just remember, you can mind game them, trying to use Joel and Lockbird to basically bait out called by, but not safe. So it's really up to you and up to your vibes. Like, if you feel for it, go for it. If not, this is the safer option to draw first, but it depends turn 1, turn 2. And depends, like, if they can give you maxi draws on your opponent turn. Really depends on the deck and on information from your opponent. Now, Invitare is insane. It lets you trade with Fuwa well. It even goes even with maxi. It's also Ash Bait in some hands, and lets you use Engraver effect to attract and full combo Fiendsmith board instead. It's not as good as in other Vaalmonica boards because it locks you out of monster effects on the field, but not in the graveyard, in your hand, or continuous effects like Baguska. So it's really good into like Maxi and all that stuff. That's how I can play without Ash. But some, like, other Vaalmonica decks, they don't like the lock. They can't handle it. Now, respecting your opponent's Fuwa. So always chain Invitare if you have a Vaalmonica combo in hand and can deal with the lock. And even not, you can still go for it because you can just link summon Requiem and then summon non-engine. You can also pendulum summon from the hand, full combo Vaalmonica, make Baguska plus Zeb, and then just pray because this is already nuts. Baguska plus Zeb is still the default Vaal endboard. It's still insane. You can also give one more draw and make Requiem for Recreate Lacrima Paradise plays. You have a choice to give the opponent draws. So for example, if you know it's Tenpai, Baguska ASAP, and then Zeb because you will ask them to out you, basically. Now, respecting Maxi, always chain Invitare again if you have a Monica combo and can deal with the lock. You will get at least one interruption for one draw. Dimonno, you can just link summon Requiem and then on opponent's turn do Lacrima Paradise. With Dimonno in field, you also have a chance for a Monica combo. So if you have a Dimonno and a Selettrice plus some scales, that's full combo already. Then make Baguska and play slow if you get Maxi. Then you just ask your opponent, hey, did you draw Impermanent Droplet? If not, I'm gonna do the Monica combo again, and then I will OTK you. So you're still putting them on the back foot. Now, how to use talent. So basically, I'm telling this to you because you should never ever draw talents. Always use talents to monster steal or hand rip. Drawing is the last option because you are highly likely to draw a second copy of a hard once per turn card. So for example, if your hand, you already played the Fieldspell, when you draw, I think you have a really good chance to redraw the Fieldspell. It's never worth it. Every time I draw, even with Talent or with Angello, I always brick. It's not good. And because I checked the numbers now, you do have a mega chance to brick because when you draw 2 cards, you're basically going turn 2. Chance for more than 1 brick is 56%. So it's actually pretty nuts. Just never draw. So now the Fiendsmith portion is control, grind, and resilience, which means it's pretty good into opponents' boards. You can eat up hand traps, and you can basically break boards going turn 2. Now I'll just show you the Fiendsmith 1 monster end board. One life fiend is Caesar plus Fiendsmith Vaalmonica. So any one of these three, Dimonno, Luri, or Lacrima, it's your Requiem. You can make Necroquip Princess plus Engraver. You get DDD Wave High King Caesar, which is 2 negates already on an effect that summons. And then you can have Engraver in the graveyard plus another life fiend, and then you can restart the combo. So that's with one monster. Now with 2 monster, you've probably already seen this combo. Basically, the priority is if you have a Monica combo, you make Zabufera, then SP, then Caesar. If you have no Vaalmonica combo, you make an SP and then a Caesar, right? The way you do it is just Life Fiend plus 1 monster. Like this, you make Requiem, you get Lacrima, your Engraver to graveyard, then Lacrima plus 1 monster, make Sequence, and then Sequence make extra deck Lacrima, Engraver to hand if you have Track and Lure in the deck, because if you don't, you would just summon this to the field and then use Engraver plus Sequence to make SP, Engraver resummon for Caesar, right? In this case, Engraver to hand, add Track, add Lure, discard Lure. These two make SP, this guy makes the Zabufera. Just a quick overview of the 2 monster end board. This is the analysis of the board. So it's nib safe because you can always SP banish Zeb to save your own Zeb. And if they nib SP, you can save your own monster and use the Engraver resummon from the graveyard to make Zabufera anyways. You can also resummon Engraver to use as link material for Zabufera number 2, or use SP to make Zabufera number 2, and then keep Fiendsmith follow-up. So make sure SP is in the middle so you can pendulum summon more monsters from the extra deck. And then look at the end board with just 2 monsters with Zabufera and SP. So optionally, these traps are set, so I'm not going to count them. But you can remove 2 cards right here with Zabufera, 1 trap, 1 monster. Then SP can remove 1 monster, and then Zabufera again. And then Zabufera and then phase removes 2 cards. And then you also have, if they attack you, right? Because what's the solution to SP? You attack SP. But when you attack SP, Angello triggers, you have 3 counters on your Dimonno, you make Zeb 2. Remove 2 cards, 3 cards, 4, 5 cards, and then 6, 7 cards with just Zeb and SP. And remember, I don't have rhythm set, so that's actually maximally 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards you just wipe from your opponent's board. Their hand isn't even that big. Their hand is like 6 cards at most. Now, the 3 monster end board, basically, you do the same thing. It's just that like toward the end, you can have the 3rd monster plus Luri make SP first, then Sequence make Zabufera, and then Engraver resummon to make Caesar. Basically, this is nib safe because again, if they nib on SP, you just use SP to save yourself and a monster. Engraver resummon to make Zeb. When they make Zeb, SP can save Zeb, and then if they nib on the very end, right before you make Caesar, you can still SP save Zeb, you're still fine. I think you're still in a winning position because you also have a very big token, right? So they have to out that. So again, the Vaal combo in priority, Zeb, SP, Caesar. If you have no Vaal combo, you get SP, Caesar. Now this is the end board analysis. Again, it's nib safe. And to make Caesar, we can use whatever monster you want for Zeb number 2. It could be either SP or Caesar. If they battle to destroy SP or Caesar, most likely you win because of your grind and interruptions. And also, if they ask to go to battle phase, just let them do it, because that means number 1, they're kind of desperate. Number 2, you also live. As long as you live turn 2, you should win because you have better grind and also you have more interruptions. You just remove so many cards with this end board, right? Then make sure SP is in the middle. Caesar in defense mode if you have Zabufera. Just because Zabufera can protect using counters, and also you can trigger Angello if you have a random monster. Makes you less vulnerable to OTKs and Lightning Storm. That's another big reason why. So this end board, again, is the same. You can remove 3 to 5 cards plus 2 Caesar Renegades. So remove 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can have a second Zabufera, 6, 7. Negate 2 cards that summon, 8, 9, right? The 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Optionally, these traps are set, so it's 10, 11, and then if you made the second Zeb, you can even make a versare with the creation. It doesn't usually happen a lot, but this moves a lot of cards. Or even if it's just one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, that's just nuts. The way to clear SP and Caesar is to battle SP and deal with Caesar later. However, Zeb can use 3 counters to stop SP from being destroyed by battle. Also, battling SP triggers an Angello effect, filling summon another Zebufora, Zeb number 2. So the default solution for the Fiendsmith SP plus Caesar is protected by the Vaalmonica endboard. Then SP can also banish Zeb number 1, so Zeb returning in end phase can reapply her effect. So this is pretty good. There's a lot of synergy. It's not like, oh, I'm playing a Vaalmonica deck with a Fiendsmith main engine. No, they're actually they actually really are integrated well. It feels like one deck for me. It's insane. It feels like just one deck. Now, this is the maximum end board. So basically, I followed Rhythm some guy 4 times, although it was 3 because they had one of the cash monsters. I think it was not Unicorn, but it was another one. By the way, Followed Rhythm does not target, but in any case, in its maximum end board, if you look at this, you have a targeted monster steal. You remove 2 cards from their board. Remove 1, so it's 1 because you steal 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then NFA 7, 8, 7, 2. Step number 2 is 9, 10 cards, and then you activate Follow the Rhythm, right? 11, 12, and then you still have an option for Zeb number 2 overall. So think about this, but you can potentially remove, if you're very patient, you can potentially remove 12 cards. Like, I don't know, man. This is pretty nuts. This is a very insane end board. So why is Fiendsmith Vaalmonica so good? Now, Dimonno is an insane bridge. It's one card Fiendsmith combo, and it's potentially full Vaalmonica combo. Normal summoning Dimonno is better than Selettrice because if you get negated, you still have full Fiendsmith combo, and you can see the Angello Dimonno Celta combo. Now, Engraver also lets you play turn 2, so he naturally eats hand traps like Imperm on Sequence and Ash on Engraver, Requiem, or Track. And then Engraver plus Requiem, right, we're using Requiem effect, is 2,400. So Engraver by himself can battle and use effect in main phase 2 to target and send an opponent monster to graveyard. That's already 2 cards. Level 6 Lacrima also reduces opponent's monsters by 600. So monsters need to be 3,100 or more to not be destroyed by battle. So Fiendsmith combo also naturally makes SP with their banish effect active, 4 to 5 depending on battle. So that's 4 to 5 removal depending on battle. There was one duel versus Blue Eyes where I made SP, target Drill Beam, I chained SP to banish herself plus 1 more card, and the opponent chains Veiler. And then since Veiler negated SP, Drill Beam did not banish my SP. And then SP just ate 2 negates, and then she could still battle like the level 1 Light Tuners. I think it was like Maiden or something. And then here's the duel where I tribute summon Engraver. So this is the Duel Puzzle solution. Then TLDR, Engraver or Fiendsmith combo lets you clear 2 to 5 cards from the opponent's field and hand. It's also insane follow-up. You return your extra deck monsters to resummon them from the extra deck. This is why the other turn 1 decks die to sphere mode and removal, because if you sphere mode their monsters, all their in-engine traps die, because usually they require like, a tier monster or like a specific in-engine monster. And they destroyed their own extra deck, since they usually use generic monsters that have no way to in-engine resummon their cards from the graveyard or from the extra deck. Now, Engraver returning Dimonno to deck is nuts. It also means Invitare is more life than not, since it does go through 2 copies of Vaal monsters. By the way, you don't ever care about them really banishing Engraver. You can just do Vaalmonica combo. Dimonno is a life fiend, so you can either make Requiem or Fiendsmith Sequence straight up. Use SP to banish their Druid's Worm, because that's usually how they banish Engraver. And then cook their hand turn 1, and then you can still do a Paradise play if they're stopped. So you can do Fiendsmith Paradise, Desiree, and then you can just target their True Light, their whole board explodes. Now, how to play this deck, right? So you play Fiendsmith first to check for hand traps, then you Vaalmonica combo, and then you Fiendsmith at the end because as a plan B. So you start Fiendsmith, check for Ash or Maxi, And then you can normal summon Luri or Lacrima if you can pendulum summon Selettrice or Dimonno. And then if not, if you don't have Luri or Lacrima, those bricks, normal summon Selettrice or Dimonno in full combo Vaalmonica. And then you stop before Zeb. You always make SP before Zeb for Nib Insurance, and then Baguska if you suspect Tenpai. Because sometimes if they don't hand trap you, they're board breaker Tenpai. That means you Baguska, you Zeb, and then you can even Baguska and then Caesar. Because yeah, Caesar is currently negated, but they must deal with Baguska, and when they deal with Baguska, your Caesar becomes live. Now, the question is, in this meta, you kind of want like 3 to 4 pushes to push through like 1 or 2 hand traps. Question is, how many pushes does this deck have? So, Selettrice+scale is full Vaalmonica and full Fiendsmith combo. So this is full combo, so that's like 1 push. But also, if Selettrice gets negated, you can pivot to Fiendsmith. So technically, this is 2 pushes actually. Then normal Dimonno is 1 monster Fiendsmith combo. So this is also 1 push just by yourself. Engraver is also 1 monster Fiendsmith combo. So it's 1 more push. And Luring Lacrima is Fiendsmith combo. You Pendulum Selettrice, so that's a second attempt at the Vaalmonica combo. You finish the Vaal combo. So depending on your hand, you at least have 2 pushes with this, because you can do Vaalmonica and then Fiendsmith. Then this is Fiendsmith. So basically, you want to do Fiendsmith first, just to bait out hand traps. They'll hand trap something. They will at least imperm sequence. Then after that, you can do Vaalmonica. Then after Vaalmonica, if you still are interrupted with like a 3rd hand trap, then you can go Fiendsmith. So you have around 2 to 3 pushes with this deck. Now another thing is, don't be scared to play Fiendsmith only until Vaal comes online for the OTK in turn 3 or 4. So usually that means SP Little Knight plus a Wave Hiking Caesar with your non-engine. You know, you can play that. And then if you have bricks, you brick, you're gonna lose anyways, right? So just play it out. Another thing is, count your opponent's interactions. So search info is free in Yu-Gi-Oh! Reading their cards is also free. You can usually figure out if something is an interruption or not, even for rogue decks. So in the last duel against Fiendsmith White Forest, they actually messed up with their Woes Trap to set everything face down. So in this video, they did not have the correct levels to make Silvera, because Silvera is a level 6. So you need either a level 2 on the board or a level 4 on the board. They did have both. All they could make is the level 8 White Forest, which is not an interruption. And I'm not sure if they're on like Zapper, Shrimp, or like Formula Synchron. I don't think White Forest is on that stuff. They did mess up. So actually, if you do count your opponent's cards and what they have, you will win. You will win because you can push through, their interactions. It's really just a puzzle game. Again, with Yugi Booming, I've said this already. I think the one thing important from this slide is Baguska plus 1 monster is SP with her banish effect active. That is insane, because if you know you're gonna want to push, you can just put Baguska in attack mode, and then you can like normal Selettrice. Let's say she gets negated. Okay, Selettrice plus this guy makes SP. You can start to basically target the back row or anything, and then even if you can't kill that turn, you can still play because Selettrice will go back to your hand. Then you still have like a Dimonno to keep comboing. It's usually not Selettrice. Usually it's gonna be Baguska plus a Dimonno from the extra deck, something like that. But in any case, this is nuts because SP is still an insane card. Yeah, and the only thing is you can't attack directly, but playing this route, you're gonna try and control the game. So again, that's Yugi Booming, right? Where you just slowly outgrind and out-resource the opponent by, playing slow and playing patiently. Again, how to play through D-Shifter or through Droll, you just Baguska pass. So Droll doesn't stop you from sending cards to the graveyard. You can always send something like a Selettrice, and the Selettrice will come back to your hand. And then with D-Shifter, you got a Baguska, they already basically lingering floodgated you. Might as well do it back. Usually this implies like cash. It could be stun-ish, but I don't think stun plays this a lot. I have not seen Flu in a long time. Just Baguska pass. That's how you play through this. Then turn 2 and beyond, do not summon Requiem with Lacrima in the main phase unless you have to. If they're asking to go to end phase, just do it. You're playing into triple tactics. Same with Zabufer choice, don't play into triple tactics. Let them battle and use Zeb in battle phase, and then you can Angello link summon effect. Never make Desiree if you can SP Caesar, only Desiree in simple game states. This is because Desiree is 1 card, where SP and Caesar is 2 cards to solve and 3 interrupts, versus Desiree the 1 interrupt. And people can always play around the fact that Desiree to graveyard sends a card to graveyard. Like, it's obvious, they'll play around it. So Fiendsmith return to deck priority. If you have no Lacrima, you send a Requiem, and then it's the links. Unless you want the engraver effect to send the card to graveyard. Then it's level 6 Lacrima. Then it's Slurry, because you don't want the bricks in the deck, and you are not using Fiendsmith track next turn. So just basically put the extra deck monsters back, and then the main deck monsters. Especially Requiem, because there's only space for 1 Requiem in this deck. If this guy gets banished, you will have to resummon it with Lacrima if you can. The way to do that is either sequence or the fusion effect of track. Now playing bricked hands. So when you manage the normal summon, you need to play out bricked hands correctly. Always try to force combo or force a hand trap. Always assume the first card gets ashed. It makes the thought process a lot simpler. If your Vaalmonica combo is Selettrice+scelta and no Fiendsmith second combo, do Celta first to see RNG, then reassess. If you can pendulum summon Selettrice Dimonno, start with Fiendsmith first. Do not search for Vaalmonica combo. Be comfortable playing Fiendsmith only until Vaalmonica comes online. If you have 2 Celta to get combo or just fix your hand. There is no shame, that's what the card is for. Angello to Gamba and bail you out. Never listen to Angello if you can. Drawing 2 is a trap when hard once per turn is a thing. My talents draw is bad, I've already said this. Now, if you notice in these replays, I don't care about Max C, and I can even play through Fuba, giving 1 to 3 draws. This is just for the meta report. So again, what was the format in WCQ 2025? So Crystron, I had a 0% win rate. I had 5 losses, at least 5. Cluster pops your scales. It has good Max C plays. And it's just a rank 5 Cyber, not Nova, it's actually Sidra Infinity Turbo and a Synchro deck with a Cran Gandrax. Snake Eyes Millennium Feedsmith, basically the turn 1 player is favored. There's one problem with that deck currently. They don't have access to Beatrice. So if you don't open Diabell Star and Snake Eyes, they're cooked. They have no access to Snake Eyes plays. It's just a Fiendsmith deck, easily solved. They kept making Zombie Vampire to mill Diabell Star. That's an easy imperm. Doom Dragon is also a threat, and it's good material for SP when I'm sitting on Baguska. So you need to make sure to bounce Doom Dragon or steal Doom Dragon. Then their choke point for Maxi and Fuma is when they commit one card for Weju Temple. Now for Blue Eyes, the turn 1 player is favored, so True Light is such a huge weakness. I'm using Duster and Thrust as non-engine, so Angello copy Follow Rhythm also pops there, True Light. Paradise and Desiree target True Light, that's another solution. If you go turn 1, Follow Rhythm, Zeb will just blow up True Light, like, they will just lose. So if you SP Panish Drill Beam, it's gone for good. A lot of players only play one Drill Beam. Some games were just Ether Barrel normal summon because of that. It was actually funny. You would just Ether Barrel and then Lordly Load, Ether Barrel, Lordly Load, and I'll be like, okay, dude, you have no Drill Beam. I'm not scared. Veiler is not a problem because Vaal Engine has 2 to 3 pushes. Fiendsmith also has 2 to 3 pushes. They don't really know what to Veiler you, so they just Veiler the first thing they can. So not a big deal if you play your bricked hands right. Now, Tenpai, you're favored. So, natural endboard is the Bufora, and Fall Rhythm cooks Tenpai because Fall Rhythm says right here, it's an out to Sangan summoning since the field spell is destroyed first. They must draw an out to Baguska, which is Imperm or Droplet. If they choose turn 2, you can do Zeb, Baguska, Caesar, which is very cringe board for them. And then Tenpai cards are limited at the moment. And Zeb takes hits. Just it takes at least 2 destroy cards to destroy, your board. Before we get to this Senpai game, I just want to say that this player was very, very, very good. You usually play Tenpai for like quick wins, but when they need to, they can play a good control game. So they played very well. It was basically like a trap deck without lab, and it was just like really good grinding in my opinion, and they played a better Yugi Boomer game than me. Honestly, I was fatigued at the end because I didn't think this was Tenpai. I thought it was like some weirdo stun deck, and I was like, oh, okay, because I've been doing like cash the whole day. Like, okay, when is the Rise Heart gonna show up? When is Fenrir and Friends gonna show up? Nah, it was just Tenpai, and at the very end, you're gonna see that I had follow up with Fiendsmith in Paradise because of this game. When I don't have any follow up, and I don't think I'm gonna die this turn, sometimes I use Fiendsmith in Paradise just to send Engraver for follow up. And the other thing too is I should have chained Maxi to their Nibiru just to draw one, Fiendsmith in Paradise just to draw another one, or get get Engraver started and get some interruptions. But it was a very good duel, and this guy is actually really good because they bricked, and even if they bricked, they were still able to play such a strong control game that I think for like 3 or 4 turns I tried to combo, and this was also the game where I realized I should respect Nibiru. I should always SP before Zeb. So yeah, let's watch the game. So here's Mermail. It's a coin flip simulator. I had a 0% win rate just because I dueled like one Mermail and I went turn 2. I never went turn 1. If I did, they scooped and I didn't see their deck. They went Moaning Glacier, hand rip 2, this guy right here. And then there's Deep Sea Minstrel to hand rip 1 more until the end phase. And then there's a way for them to return that card to your deck so you don't even get it back. It's like the Deep Sea Synchro or something. So then they make a negate board, and then you hand rip yourself by applying hand traps. You have no hand. Not fun. Now, Branded is a better player diff. So both decks have big grind game. Whoever has the most grind wins, or whoever draws max C. The things to watch out for, because I play a lot of Branded. Mirror Jade pop in the end phase. Timing out, you and them. Branded Retribution that adds back Branded Fusion. Branded Lost means you can't interact with fusions or monster effects after a fusion summon. That's not good. Get rid of it. Mercurian Hand. So this is a monster negate, but you don't know if it's there or not. So if you see them, think about it. Desperate Tragedy can banish itself to add a branded spell for a hand to follow up. There's the Quem, Cartesia, Grand Guignol route. It also sends Rimbrum to the graveyard to resummon Albaz, and Grand Guignol by itself can summon Despia and Lulu Lilith, which is like 2 interruptions off of Quem. It's nuts. There's also Borlo Furious Dragon, which I heard fell off. Now it's Chaos Star Source Dragon, which is like a pop. And then so one time some dude made Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. Like that was not okay. I had Golem and I attributed Light and Darkness and Mirror Jade, but the problem was I attempted to do a Vaal OTK and they had 2 cards that stopped it. And it was an Ash in their hand, so I couldn't search Vaal combo anymore. And it was Droplet. They dropleted what's her face? Selettrice. So oh no, I think they dropleted Duralume. So I couldn't OTK. It was pretty sad. The maxi play as of this point is Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, and then they just resummon like Quem or like what's his face? Albaz. And then their end phase recovery, which you must banish with SP. You should banish Albion, the branded dragon, it's probably right here. Titanic Lad right here, banish this. Also banish just their branded fusion from the graveyard, because then they can't recover it from the graveyard. They can't recover it with Tragedy or Retribution. Now, what about Memento? Also coin flip simulator. I'm missing the eye. I played it once. I went turn 2, doing full combo, and I scoop. So Paradise Smasher is a thing, but it's like if they won already, it's just to seal the deal. Memento blows up the scales. So this guy blows up scales, so your grind game is gone. So endboard is Creation King pops, Key Mace steals monster, generic links like SP, IP, and Apo. Pretty nasty. Whoever goes turn 1 and is uninterrupted wins. Now tier is also coin flip simulator. I played once, I went first. Lava Golem wins because the back row needs a tier monster to be on the field to activate, but I dropped Lava Golem. Baguska cooks them, mostly. They can still SP you. Scream attack reduction is cringe, by the way. Mostly dead because everything is limited. Pearl Rhino is banned. Ishizu Sufflers are limited or banned. So Stun Cash, you're actually favored. Draw Baker and you win. Most of my played out duels won like 90% of these games. Just Macrocosmos gamers. You're favored. Typhon's pretty good. Play around Cashier Birth, which is here, because if they know what you're playing, they can banish your Vaalmonica spells in the graveyard, and that's game for them. They'll win. It's a game enter. They don't know this. Baguska also cooks them. And then out of the meta again, you win most of this. You win over Rogue, over Cash, over Blue Eyes, over Tempai. You can 1v1 Brandon, 1v1 Snake Eyes, Millennium, Fiendsmith. Coin flip is versus Tier. Coin flip versus Mermail. Whoever goes first wins. Versus Memento. And you straight lose to Crystron. IMO, the deck is underrated meta, but it gets bad once people know how to hand trap you. And so that's it. Thank you for watching this insanely long video. Hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you become a Vaalmonica expert. You take my lessons and you improve on them. Thanks for watching.